I'm Claire Louise Hay from BeHealing.com, and welcome to the Now, the Spiritual News Show for the week starting Friday the 15th of March 2012. And so I'll start off with the reading for this week. And this week is all about allowing ourselves to really love and appreciate the things that are good in life. Now, often that might seem really simplistic and something that you think that you do anyway, but often we keep ourselves away from things that we could allow ourselves to appreciate and love because we don't feel deserving of it, or because we have a belief that it's not good to do that, and so we tend to hold ourselves back from all of the abundance that the world has to offer by those judgments that we've learned from society and we've learned from other people, and judgments about ourselves as well, how we feel about ourselves and how much we're willing to allow ourselves to accept love from not just from everyone, but from everything around us, and to really love and appreciate everything that we see in the world. This is about learning to respect everything as equal. So there's nothing that's completely right and not wrong. There's nothing that's completely wrong and not right. Everything has a balance of positive and negative about it. And what we see in something or someone or anything is always from our perspective, from our unique perspective, looking at that thing, and through the filter of our beliefs and our experiences, we just get to see what we want to see about that, either the positives or the negatives, or maybe a balance of them both. And so what we're moving toward is having acceptance and integration of everything, allowing everything to be. We need a complete balance of everything in this world so that we can keep on growing, and all is imperfection. And if we can align ourselves to seeing not completely just the positive aspects of everything, because then you'd have to kind of compromise yourself to do that. There are things that you want to be able to look at and say, no, I don't like that. I really don't, I can mostly see negatives about that, and I've moved on from that kind of thing. Things like famine and war. Nobody wants to be able to look at that and feel really good about it. But we can accept it because it has its place. There's people that need to experience those things in order to learn and grow what they're here to learn and grow from. And so seeing the perfection and respecting that everything has its place, because people need to learn from it, just as we have had to learn from things in our lives that maybe other people would judge as being unnecessary and not needed in the world, but we can see that we needed those things in the world for us to grow from them. When we have this full acceptance and respect for everyone, and respect for everyone's need to learn, we can see the perfection in everything and accept everything as it is. So this is a great week for really focusing on that. In Ascension News, we're kind of being redirected toward our life purpose at the moment. And so if you find you are getting distracted, so your mind's distracting you and you're starting to think of things you should be doing, or directions that you kind of wanted to go in before, and you're getting distracted by your mind and all of these things, our spiritual teams at the moment are grabbing us by the shoulders and pointing us to the direction that our higher selves really want us to go in. And the directions our higher selves really wants us to go in are our biggest vision of ourselves. That time in the future that we visualize ourselves as some amazing confident person that's doing what we really want to do and share what we really want to share in the world. They're saying that we're not so far away from actually achieving that, and at the moment they're just kind of directing us toward that on the shortest path possible. Now, the shortest path possible is different than we have been used to. And so we've been used to these like wiggly paths going in all kinds of directions and eventually getting to where we want to be and achieving it. And the reason we've been going on those wiggly paths is because we have gone from being children where we're completely aligned with our higher self and know that we can create everything that we want to create, and it's just dependent on what we feel like at the time, what we enjoy at the time. Like a child will move from one thing that they'd love to another, and then we grow up, we get taught by adults, and we grow up into adults, and adults are kind of more discerning, need to judge things, need to kind of justify themselves by maybe things getting really bad before they'll move on, and to be able to justify change. Now, this takes us away from our higher self, and puts us on these really wiggly paths when we won't let go of things until we really can't stand them anymore. We really slow our paths down. And so the way to get on this direct route to where we want to go is by being like a child. So imagine a child going into when I was a kid, we had this place called the Fun House. And the Fun House, you paid entry for it, you could stay in there all day. And this is in the 70s and 80s. And this big warehouse, and it had all kinds of things, and it had like discs on the floor that would spin around occasionally, and so if you were walking across it, it would spin you off and fall over. Probably a complete health and safety nightmare now. No one would be able to do that kind of thing. There were hamster wheels that you'd be able to get in and hold the sides of it and turn completely upside down. There were these bridges that wobbled when you went on them, and stairs that would collapse on you and then sometimes push you up, and vertical slides, and there were all kinds of things. There were just so many different things. This big bowl that you could get into that span around faster and faster so that you'd be pinned up against the side. There were so many amazing things in there, which is why it's called the Fun House. But as a child, I went in there and I would go on the first thing and spend a few minutes on there really excited and loving it, and then go on to the next thing and feel really excited and really love it. And all children would do this. They don't stay with the first thing that they're on because they love it and are unsure whether they're going to love anything else, and so they stay on that one ride until it makes them feel sick, and then they move off from it because they can justify themselves that it actually makes them feel sick now, and so they can justify to everyone else they're moving on to the next thing. And that's what we do as adults. And so what they're saying is we need to learn the art of releasing our attachments. When we still love things, we don't have to start to hate something before we can move on from it. Our fastest path to where we want to go is a succession of things we really love, and we can let go of the stuff that we have been doing that we love and move on to the next. A slow path is doing one thing until you hate it, and then doing the next thing until you hate it. That will take you a very long time. And so they're wanting us to become more like children now and get on those fast paths to where we want to be. So ask yourself, what would you love next? And actually action that. Go do it and let go of the stuff that you have been doing that's been holding you back. So it's okay to let go. Another way of us breaking free of that whole the beliefs that have caused us to act like these adults that have to justify ourselves and hate something before we move on from it is to force yourself to play when you would be in a serious situation before. And so think of all the times and all the things that you do in your lives that are really serious to you. Maybe your work, or maybe there's certain people that you interact with that you're always really serious with. You feel like maybe you go into your bank and you feel like you always need to be serious around them. Or find all those places, all those people, all the things that you do where you feel that you have to be this serious adult, and just make a change. Completely change what you do in that situation and have fun with it. There's plenty of adults that do this, and so you can follow their lead. But if you do that, you're going to break free of these patterns that are keeping you in that boring adult, holding on to things, and attachment kind of away. So let me know how you get on with that in the comments too. It'll be fun to hear how you manage to action that. So be more like a child in the Fun House. Going from one thing to the next that you love, and knowing that it's okay to let go of things that you love, and you're progressing very quickly toward what it is that you really want to share with the world. And if you want help with that, go to behealing.com. I've got mentorships there, either email or monthly mentorships, weekly mentorships via Skype or phone, and I can guide you through that. Guide you through the processes and get you on track with your life purpose and what you're really here to share. So thank you for listening, and I'll see you next week. Bye.